Hi guys, welcome to Jen's Crafts and Cakes. Today we're going to make a flourless chocolate cake. So the ingredients you will need is a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, or if you like a bittersweet chocolate chip, we're going to need some baking cocoa, some sugar, a stick of butter, and some eggs. You're going to want to set your oven at 375 degrees. And it's calling for an 8-inch round pan, but I only have a 9-inch. And you're going to need it greased. Okay, so this recipe calls for the chocolate and the butter to be melted in the microwave. But you know how I feel about microwave and chocolate. So I am going to get my glass bowl. My water is boiling. Okay. And you're going to take the cup of chocolate chips. And a stick of softened butter, or half a cup. You're going to put the cup of chocolate chips and the half a cup of butter together and let it melt. I feel safer doing it over the double boiler so it doesn't burn my chocolate. So the recipe does call for an 8-inch round, but I really don't see a lot of them. I have the 9-inch. So I'm going to see how this works. So we'll just have to watch the cooking time. Okay, so it's starting to melt. We still got a little bit to go. Now, I have made this before. And without the flour, honestly, it tastes like a brownie. Really good and addicting. One night, I ate it all and I ended up being sick from it because I think it was a lot of chocolate. So, I won't ever do that again, but it was very good. And it's starting to really melt well. So now that the chocolate and the butter melted, we're going to take it off the stove and add the sugar. We're going to add 3/4 cup of sugar. Here's 1, 2, and 3. That's because I've got a 1/4 cup. So I need 1/4 cups of sugar. Okay, it also says to add egg, but you want to make sure anytime you add egg to something hot that it cools down. Otherwise, you will cook the egg. And we don't want cooked egg. So that's what it looks like with the sugar. Okay, so just mix it for a minute so it cools down. Okay, so you're going to need 3 eggs. So I'm really bad at this. When I crack an egg, I put the empty shell back in the carton. Only because I'm afraid if it goes in the garbage, you'll get little pieces all around. There's 2. And there's 3. And then we mix this together. Now the recipe says that you can use espresso powder, 1 to 2 teaspoons, And it even makes it a stronger chocolate. I tried that the last time. I didn't care for that. But I'll put it in the directions in the recipe. And also you can add a teaspoon of vanilla, which is optional. I don't see why with the chocolate, but that's up to you. So the last thing we have to do is add a baking cocoa. And we're going to use a half a cup of baking cocoa. Okay. And it says it right on there, baking cocoa. Toll House has one. There's Hershey's. Walmart. It's a little cheaper. Does the same thing. And we just mix it together. That's why I said it's a lot of chocolate. You really don't want to eat the whole thing. I learned from experience. And I did notice that a lot of recipes that don't do flour seem to have a lot of sugar. Like the peanut butter with no flour has a lot of sugar in it too. And I've made a recipe. I've made a video on that way back for flourless peanut butter. It's the 3-ingredient one. Okay, so it's all mixed together. The next thing we're going to do is pour it into our greased pan. Here's my pan. And it says you're going to bake it for about 25 minutes. So we'll start checking about 20 minutes. I always like to check a little earlier than what it says, because you're going to leave it in the pan after for the couple minutes to finish baking. So here we go. We're going to stick it in the oven and wait for 20 minutes. Okay, our 20 minutes is up. And let's see. Here is our flourless cake. Let's see how it looks. And the knife is clean. So for 20 minutes for a 9-inch to make a flourless chocolate cake, we're going to let it cool down and be back. Here is our flourless chocolate cake. I put some Cool Whip on it and put a cherry, but you can add a frosting to it. I hope you enjoyed the recipe with the flourless chocolate cake. Could you please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, thank you.